Hey, everybody. Welcome back to You Haven't Seen That Podcast, or YHST for short. You jumped on it, damn it. You jumped on it. We've done it a million times, Alva. Gee, gosh darn it. You know what? I'm not going to do it again. I am unfortunately going to leave it in, but thank you for going not so loud. You got so eager about it. You jumped on it. Anyways, we're YHST.
I don't like not being loud.
Let me get the intro through. Welcome to YHST, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, hopefully 18 and up, because there's times we get a little bit adult. Swear to God. We're recording on my birthday proper. For everyone that sent me stuff, thank you very much. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Thank you for the birthday Venmos. I highly appreciate it. I promise you I have not been sober for the entirety of my 4-day weekend.
I can say he has not. I had to keep him sober just for the episode.
It's been fun. But anyhow, thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for following. And if you aren't doing so already, you can follow us on our social medias.
YHST Pod.
On Instagram and TikTok. And again, if you'd like to support the show or give me a belated birthday thank you, birthday wishes, you can do that on Venmo.
YHST Pod.
That's YHST Pod and all the places that if you need to find us, you can do so. Like, share, follow, hit notifications, keep on track of what we're doing. And as far as social media, we are trying to do better about keeping on top of putting out news videos and video reviews. So, keep tuned of all that fun stuff. And do please, any of the things that you do see or anything like that, join in the conversation in the comment sections. Hit me in the DMs if you want to be so freaking private about it if you're that type of person. But, I'm not here to judge. I'm just here to communicate.
Birthday episode.
Yeah, and she's been sober throughout the entire thing. So that's the funny part of it.
This is coffee.
Yeah. It's been a busy weekend. It's been fun. We checked out the Ren Fair yesterday, which was a lot of fun. Thank you to the Gentry boys.
Thank you.
Yeah, for hooking us up with those tickets. So that was a lot of fun.
First time there.
A lot of cleavage, a lot of drinks, a lot of mashup, Ren Fair, cosplaying stuff.
Yeah, and the Bud Light night would not stop following.
That was really fun. What else happened this weekend? No, nothing. Again, just drinks with friends, and later today in a few hours, going to go have some dinner with family. So it's been vastly enjoyable. But anyhow, this past weekend, we finally got around to watching the highly anticipated MCU movie, The Thunderbolts. Asterisk. But before we do that, of course, let's keep you on top and abreast of everything going on in Hollywood, movies, and entertainment with our little news segment that we simply and kindly call YHST News. Thought you were going to join me on the title of it.
No, I had my thing that I had to do right after. Sorry.
All right, kick it off.
It's been rumored that Jesse Plemons will star alongside Ryan Gosling in Sean Levy's upcoming Star Wars movie, possibly as an original villain in the post-Skywalker saga era.
Hell yeah, I'm here for it. Finally, something after all that Skywalker fun.
Did I say his last name right?
I think you did.
Okay.
Stay clear of the punch. Bill Hader has been developing a Jonestown series for HBO, where he'll co-write, executive produce, and possibly star as the infamous cult leader. How's that for some sugar in your Kool-Aid?
People scream in excitement. As the master of horror, John Carpenter gets his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Boy, oh boy, I would have killed to be there.
I love how you put the different emphasis on the weird syllable. And speaking of weird, deep from left field, Guy Ritchie has been set to direct the sequel to Amazon MGM's hit action movie, Roadhouse. So break out the baby oil again, Gyllenhaal.
Thunderbolts is booting Sinners from IMAX theaters for now. Audiences have spoken and Warner Brothers listened. Sinners will be re-released in the select IMAX theaters in 70mm from May 15th to May 21st.
We've recently gotten a brand new look at Oscar Isaac, no relation, as Dr. Frankenstein in the upcoming Guillermo del Toro adaptation of Mary Shelley's novel. Now, there's not been any confirmation on the exact storyline, but I'm pretty sure that they'll stitch something together. Where's my rim shot? Yeah, who needs it when you got that?
It was taking too long. Disney announced its new Star Wars animated series focused on everyone's favorite horned double lightsaber wielding Sith. Sam Witwer is not only back in his role as Darth Maul, but will be consulting on the highly anticipated project. Maul, Shadow Lord, can be expected to drop anytime next year.
Is that your ominous voice? I like how it's like, Maw, Shadow Lord. And then it just drops off from there. You fall asleep halfway through that.
I think I did.
And then lastly, more delays have been reported in Gotham, pushing Batman 2 with Robin Pattinson further down the pipeline. Fans heavily suspect that the project might get canceled after Gunn has taken the helm at DC, although Gunn himself really hasn't said anything bad about it. Nothing solid has yet been confirmed, but I personally am hoping that the delay is due to just getting the script right.
It better be.
Yeah. Consider yourself informed.
Yeah, bitches.
Any one of those things you want to cover? And anything you want to expand on? Any opinions on it? I think from top to bottom, I think Jesse Plemons is going to be awesome as a villain. He kind of gets typecasted anyways as that, so no surprise there.
Jesse Plemons is a discounted...
Matt Damon.
I got it. Okay.
Bill Hader, though, that one, what I didn't throw into that line was that he actually beat out Martin Scorsese and DiCaprio. They have been kind of circling that story for a while, for the past couple of years.
They've also been circling fucking Devil in the White City, but they haven't released that one yet.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so I think I'm interested more in the Bill Hader one. I'm okay with whatever Roadhouse thing. I'm fine with
I
that
was
one.
really surprised at that one.
Yeah, I was like, do we really need one? But I'm also curious about how the Guillermo del Toro's Mark Shelley movie is coming out.
Now, is that Mary's brother?
No.
You said Mark Shelley.
Oh, Mary Shelley. Sorry.
No, I mean, anything Del Toro, like I'm on board for, so that's easy. The one I was really surprised was I was like, what? Gal Gadot got a fucking star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame before John Carpenter did? Mm-hmm. That's blasphemous.
Yeah, it's a crime. Also, Darth Maul animated series.
Whoever's not familiar with Sam Witwer, and mind you, I will say, even though it is Star Wars Day, I am going to say something a little blasphemous. I'm more peripherally aware of Star Wars. I have not indulged in everything Star Wars, including, but not limited to like the series, animated stuff, anything. So we're still kind of trying to catch up with a lot of that. But what I am familiar with is that Sam Witwer did a great job voicing Darth Maul in the series. But not only that, he is like an encyclopedia of everything Star Wars. And a lot of the, I guess, as far as the animated film, could be more, maybe video games, that the decisions they made were thanks to him consulting and kind of pointing out some discrepancies.
Now, is this going to be like Darth Maul before he gets killed off in Clone Wars?
Yeah. Spoiler alert on that. But yeah, it seems like that's what it's going to be, just exploring him a little more.
Also, side note, we said it's a birthday episode, but we're missing one crucial thing by talking about Star Wars that we didn't mention in the beginning of the episode. Happy Star Wars Day.
Didn't I say Happy Star Wars Day? I apologize. If people, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, everyone over 18, I apologize if I didn't say it. I had a lot on my plate and I forgot. If I did forget, we'll look back. I'll know when I'm editing in the future.
We'll find out, yeah.
And then Albert just wants to make me feel bad. And then lastly, I had seen an interview with, was it Matt Reeves, right? The director to Gotham, or excuse me, it's Batman, where he's like, yeah, no, we're ready to shoot. I got a script nice and ready, and so I'm excited about it. And then I think in another interview, but don't quote me on it, that Gunn was like, well, we're still kind of toying around with the story and the script, and it's not exactly ready. So there are two conflicting things being said from two very important people that are the decision makers. And
to add to that, Matt Reeves goes, if this script gets rewritten so many times, I'm not doing this project.
Yeah.
I'm dropping it where it's at.
Because I don't want anyone that wasn't involved in the first one. Not to say that there aren't movies that have had different directors, but as far as like people writing it, you sometimes tend to lose the tone or maybe overall message of what the whole thing is. Like, I don't want a Zack Snyder Superman, the whole that whole idea concept like pissed away. Yeah,
and the same thing. It's like it was Batman, and then we got the show Penguin.
Yeah,
and then
major success.
Yeah, so like with those two, like one right after another, you would want to like have this movie come out after this thing. That way, if for some reason things that are happening with season 2 of Penguin are connected to Batman, whatever, or what happened with season 1 are somehow connected with this and that, then they can be like, this is our own little universe of Batman here.
No, absolutely. Yeah. But the thing is, like, this is a quote unquote like Elseworld, right? So the whole Matt Reeves Batman Pattinson thing was brought on in the middle of DC changing leaders or whatever, right? That's when Gunn and I forget the second guy. Damn it, I forget. Apologies. Do your own research. But that's when they both started leading DC and into this direction where we're getting like a lived-in Superman that's coming out on July 13th.
No, July 11th.
Excuse me.
No,
yeah, July 11th. No, like, good correction. But point being is like, you know, he's already has his, was it the Monster Squad, which is an amazing show, kind of like post-Suicide Squad, an animated show. And he's starting to tease what this DC universe is going to look like, but it doesn't involve Pattinson. So because it's an Elseworld thing, I don't know, but maybe he's just not interested in continuing forward with it, which would be a terrible decision only because it was such a success. But I understand it's like, yeah, that's all cool. That was that left over, you know, not too dissimilar from like MCU and the Thunderbolts, which we'll get into in just a moment.
Yeah.
But, you know, if that has no connection, I can't see him really being excited to continue it.
But also, do you want an older Batman? That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing. Like, I don't think Matt Reeves wants to continue with this because Robert Pattinson, like, I think he wants to continue with this because he needs to make sure that with Robert Pattinson, he's a method actor. He has to put himself into that, and that is going to be his only role because of how he did the first one.
But what do you mean by older Batman? You mean character or actual actor?
Actor-wise.
No, I think he's perfectly fine because in that Matt Reeves Batman, he's like year 2, I think. So he's not going to be aged out of it. I think he'd be, you know, Pattinson's a boyish looking dude.
Yeah, but he just had a kid, so you don't know how that's going to affect him if he's going to look a little more tired.
Look, as long as he wasn't run over like Jeremy Renner, I think he's perfectly fucking fine. If he fucking gets run over by something, I'm going to feel super bad. No. But also, amazing power that the YHST podcast has.
Please don't put that out there.
Silver lining.
I'm not associated with that.
Okay, so let's go right into the Thunderbolts then. I'm going to let you kick it off because I know you're the one that's not looking into all the trailers. You're not inspecting everything. Not to say that I was, but you've done a really good job of trying to go into it with like a blank mind.
Yes.
Before we jump into it, sorry. Quick heads up for anyone listening. We're going to try not to spoil anything, but there are certain aspects of the movie that I feel we have to talk about. So I imagine by the time this episode comes out, hopefully you've all seen it because everyone's rushing to go see it. You're not missing anyone saying that it's bad or anything like that. So, you know, it's an amazing movie from the top. And if you don't want us to spoil anything, go see it, come back, enjoy the conversation.
What he said. So going back to my thought.
Sorry.
Holy moly. Okay. I feel like the trailer that I've seen and then like the cinema trailer that I've seen, I don't feel like it gave anything away.
Good trailer.
Yeah. Take note. This is how it can be done.
Yep.
You know? But I was not expecting this level of emotion in this movie.
Yeah.
I was not expecting to... It wasn't like Endgame where I knew I might cry in this movie because it's like the end of like certain...
Right.
This one's like the beginning and everything. So I'm just like, I'm not bringing out my tissues. Why should I bring out my tissues? There's no need for this.
With Endgame, I think the tears were brought on from us being so attached to so many characters and then saying goodbye to some of those characters that were the founders of the MCU and the Avengers and all that jazz. But this was surprising because there are some parts... The thing that they explore is mental health, depression, everything within that dark realm. And they did it in such a way that like our entire row of people that we want to go see it with, which is like most of the hype attack, dude, not a dry eye in that row. We all could resonate with it.
I will say I will have to make sure my next therapy appointment is after Fantastic Four so I can tell my therapist if it was good or bad.
I remember you said that like after therapy, and I'm not trying to put your business out there.
No, it's fine, yeah.
But you said like after therapy that you like to have a U day because therapy, you usually opening up.
You. Yeah. It emotionally drains you.
This is like just, now you had a deficit. So did you hydrate after?
You saw how I was when I came home from work and everything. You saw like I was like, I'm done for the day. I want to go to sleep. I just want to leave me alone. But because we did have plans to go see this movie later on in the evening, you know, put on that little happy face, go out, do this. I was not expecting to like feel my feels more of the day.
Dude, I was in the same boat with you because, you know, not to go there, but like I've turned 35 today, and you know I'm not getting any younger. I'm starting to feel it and stuff like that. So in a nutshell, birthdays have become more depressing than celebratory. You know what I mean? So I think we were in the same. We weren't chipper and cheery as we went to go see it.
Yeah, I mean, I was excited to go see it. I've also, here's another thing. Not just am I skipping trailers, but I'm also skipping any reviews, interviews, anything that may give something away. Because for some reason, people don't know how to interview people without having to give too much information.
Yeah, they always want more. So what happens in the movie? It's like, shut up. Just you're gonna go see it. If you're gonna ask anything, ask about how the movie was made, some of the behind the scenes stuff.
And I'm getting tired of it because it's like I understand this is a whole like they have to go market this movie and everything like that.
Sure.
But it's
fun marketing, though. By the way.
Yeah, but at the same time, like it gives too much away, and I'm just like I don't.
Not for this one. I'll have to disagree with that on that one. On this one, I don't think the marketing gave too much away. I mean, it was so fun to see David Harbour drive like most of the cast of the Thunderbolts in the Red Guardians limo.
That one, I saw that one just solely because it was him driving. It was just like the whole like the clip was just him driving, dropping them off, and that was it. Other than that, interview wise, I tend to stay away, and I have to go back and see how the interviews were.
Nothing was bad. Nothing was said about the movie that wasn't like a behind the scenes. So let's kind of get into a little behind the scenes. First off, I want to just say, like from the top, MCU is back. MCU's fucking back. This movie felt so good. This movie, everything. I don't think that there was one thing about it that I could nitpick at. Not to say that I was looking at anything to nitpick, but
it's the year of the Bobs again. I will
not the
say
haircut,
that.
not the haircut.
No, not the haircut. The name.
Yeah,
Bob.
So this is the first Marvel Cinematic Universe movie that came after Disney announced that they're slowing down the production. You know, because if you remember the last fucking 5 years, there's like 3 or 4 shows out on Disney Plus. There's like 3 or 4 movies lined up for that particular year. But because they're pumping out so many of these movies, the deadlines get shorter and shorter, and there isn't much attention paid to like either visual effects or hugely the stories. The stories were lacking in exploring their own world, lacking in connectivity to the bigger universe. Not to say that it has to be done, but I think there is a way to do it, and Thunderbolt did it very well. And I don't think that the directors in some of those movies got what they needed to out of their actors. And it just, you could see a lot of those reshoots. Namely, in Captain America: Brave New World, go back and listen to us talk about that one, where that I think was the last movie at the end of the order to put so many things out, and it showed because there was so much that could have been done with Captain America: Brave New World that they ended up just doing reshoots because some things didn't work and characters weren't fleshed out. Thunderbolts has saved all of that. There's been no mistakes making. There is a proper exploration of characters. The action was awesome. It felt good. Speaking of behind the scenes, most scenes, if not every scene, was shot in camera. And what in camera means, if you're not familiar, ladies and gentlemen, is not in front of a blue screen and doing stuff in post-production, outside of painting out the wires that people are hanging from and whatever, but actually having real explosions. Remember that back in the day? Real explosions and real car chase scenes and real bullet squibs and all that other fun stuff. Like, there's probably, a scene or two that, of course, you needed it, especially if you're having a superpowered character in a scene. But, it was balanced out with so many in-camera action scenes that felt really fucking good, to the point that Florence Pugh, being a daredevil, pun intended, herself, she did her own stunt, and it's seen in the trailer where she's diving off of a really tall building. I forget when the city, but that's the second tallest dive that anyone's done. She didn't do all the way to the ground, but like that close-up shot of her jumping off the thing, that is her strapped up to some cables and shit and jumping off of that. And she excitedly wanted to do it. She has no fear of heights. She loves heights, she said.
Yeah. How is that?
I don't know. I hate heights.
I mean,
we were on the Ferris wheel. I was pissing myself.
I don't hate heights. I hate drops, and I feel like that's why I will never go like skydiving.
It's not the fall that kills you; it's the stop. If you haven't seen our review of The Accountant 2, we didn't do an episode on it, but it's such a fun movie, and that's a line from the movie.
Yeah, no, I would never. I don't know how she does it. I can't do drops. I'd probably be like dead.
No, thank you.
I'm
Yeah,
fine.
but it's cool. I mean, like, dude, I can't really remember an actor in a movie that did their own thing like happily. Even in the stunts movie, the Fall Guy. Yeah, Ryan Gosling was like, yeah, I was strapped up to that, and it was very scary.
It fucking hurt.
That's frightening.
I think Florence Pugh was my favorite throughout the whole movie. I like that whole. I'm pretty sure everyone has seen now like a clip. I don't know if it's like in the trailer, but it's when you finally get David Harbour in his full on like
Red Guardian suit.
Yeah, but it's before where he kind of like is going to her, and it's kind of like that father daughter moment.
Oh
where,
my god!
And I'm just like, I feel your embarrassment. Like it just feels like you guys are actually like father daughter. Like there's no like, oh, I'm acting to be someone's daughter.
And speaking of the humor in the movie, again, everything was so well done. Nothing overly done, overly flashy. MCU movies have suffered this curse where they saw, and I always bring it up, but that like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 was like, oh, you can have humor in this. And then every other movie was trying to add more comedy. Other MCU movie was trying to add more comedy to it. And it started to not work because then you had Guardians 2 come out, and absolutely every single character, no matter good or bad, badass or funny, had a comedic line that was so outside of their character that it made you groan and roll your eyes and you're like, what? And then you had all the subsequent Thor movies where it was leaned more towards comedy than the actual story.
Yeah, like the last one was mostly
or drama. Yeah, no, the last one was dog shit. It's fucking dog shit. So with this one, there is comedy, there are jokes, but everyone else is the straight man. Typically, like in a comedy ensemble, you have one or more straight men, but you'll also have typically like one funny man.
Yeah.
And that was David Harbour as the Red Guardian. Everything he said out of his mouth, hilarious. It was perfect. Which allowed everyone else to sort of like, play off of that. But any other character said that was a joke or perceived as a joke was done within their character's personality.
Yeah.
And I love everyone's individual personality. It's the first time we get to see some of the other characters, like Wyatt Russell's John Walker, the U.S. agent, the knockoff Captain America.
Discounted Captain America.
That we last seen in the Falcon and Winter Soldier series. And that was an impressive storyline. We got to see more in this one of David Harbour's Red Guardian. Bucky Barnes has had more play in other movies and series. So there is minimal focus on him, which is awesome because this is the Thunderbolts movie. And not only that, but the director, Jack Schreier, had said that they did have more backstories for some of those characters like Red Guardian, Ghost, and Bucky, but that he cut those intentionally to give more space for Bob's inner conflict.
Oh, because I worked amazing. Bob, he's my new favorite. No, but I also feel like not having the focus on all the others, but like mainly it's her because she is the one that's kind of like
team leader.
Yeah, she's team leader in a way, but it's the focus even throughout the whole movie. They give everyone kind of in a way like their attention on screen.
They do, yeah.
But it's just something about her character that it's more like I am going to go and do this. I think once Bucky is like on board with what's going on and is like I guess let's go do this. It still doesn't seem like he's like the leader. He's still hesitant. He doesn't want to be in a way.
Yeah.
And it's her because she takes the initiative to do a certain thing. Not only that, but like kind of puts them all together at the end.
And it was done in one of those reluctant ensemble things very well. Again, no moments that were eye-rolly. You know you're going to have these characters that just meet one another, quickly meet, and then they have to figure out why they have to team up. Like the whole entire first act is them getting to know each other in their first encounter. And it's where you get the most play with everyone's character, namely Paul Walker. Excuse me.
Wow, RIP.
Yeah, sorry, I meant John Walker as a U.S. agent.
Yeah.
You got a glimpse of his character before, and it was a dark story, but he's an asshole. And so they play with that a little more, and his dynamic amongst that group that was pretty wonderful. I think he might be my second favorite character because he's an asshole that you can love to hate.
Yeah, and then
Everybody loves a heel.
yeah, and then once you realize after his fall of what happened, and he becomes more of an asshole, there's that glimpse that goes into his life.
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't become a hateable character because it starts to show like, oh, he's actually struggling, and then he's only doing this so he can survive and just continue. Which
is the basis of everyone's struggle, is their basically it's like the Suicide Squad. None of these guys are actually heroes. Actually, none of them are heroes. They've all done some bad shit. They've all fucking unalived some people. So they have their internal struggle with, what their purpose is, why they're doing it. Are they a good person? And not that they necessarily see themselves as a villain, but some of them can be considered a villain, except that you thankfully have a true villain played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus in the form of Valentina Allegra de Fontaine.
Don't forget the day.
She was glimpsed at in a lot of the other previous movies like Black Widow, at the end of the Falcon Winter Soldier series, as sort of this, not necessarily knockoff Nick Fury, but someone who's trying to bring people together for her own purposes, and she's trying to lead a team. But this is where they explore the world post-superhero, post-Avengers, in an idea that the Amazon show The Boys has explored, which is the commercialization of superheroes. And all about name branding and creating your own superhero and things like that. And that's where Bob comes into play. And it works so well in this world where there still are good people who have good hearts, even though they're struggling with themselves. But no, it was a fun thing that they explored. It was a fun thing that helped build this world a little more. But going back to it, the emotional struggles were so deep, and I think everybody could resonate with, again, which is, what is our purpose in anything? And I think the Red Guardian said it the best. He's like, when it was serving people, when it was helping people out, even though you may have gotten a bad order here and there, like just helping people out it's kind of nice, and it makes you feel like you're doing something. Not to be cheesy about it, but like, it's why we continue to do this, because when you guys, the listeners, do reach out and tell me how much you're enjoying or not enjoying the show, whatever. But for the most part, when you're telling me that you listen and you are joining this conversation, like, it makes me feel happy. Like, this is cool. I'm helping people who maybe aren't as involved in movies explore some movies that they wouldn't otherwise check out.
Yeah.
Just a little thing that I'm giving back to the world.
Dun-dun-dun.
Not to mention that, of course, they also explore the duality of power versus destruction. What is power? Is power having the ability to destroy everything? Or is it being able to hold back when needed? Like in the form of Valentina, I think one of the lines she says is, respect without power is a suggestion or something along the lines of that, but that in order to have respect, you need to have power. That's how she believed, and you get to see a little bit of her flashback.
For me, I think power is more of like manipulation of people.
Yeah.
You can't really get to the top without you
stepping on
people or manipulating people to step back down.
Yeah, which is why she's a fun villain. Maybe not as like relatable as like Thanos, where you go, maybe he has a fucking point.
She's like a everyday villain kind of thing, like
a corporate villain.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Those are the worst.
Tell me about it. Damn. But yeah, no, it just felt like she played that role very well, just manipulating everything, knowing every angle of everything. She played, you know what? She's a villain within politics.
And as far as everyone in their respective roles, I really don't think that there was anyone that was lacking. Like, everybody brought it. Part of that is due to the performers, the actors actually being really good. And in this place where they've explored their respective characters and can expand on it, but that the director, Jack Schreier, as a director should, it felt like he was able to pull what he needed out of the actors and out of the characters by allowing the movie to focus on these people over here, and maybe for someone who doesn't have as much attention or importance in the storyline, kind of backburner them a little over there, But I will say this, like, the tone of the overall thing, because you have to have the feeling of risk, a real feeling of risk. I'm gonna try not to spoil much, but Marvel does this thing where in its trailers and posters, they will have things there that maybe aren't ultimately there in the final cut, or vice versa. And there is a character in this film that goes away that says bye-bye pretty early on and in a relatively brutal fashion that was needed. Absolutely. Yep, that one was absolutely needed to set the tone of these are killers. So there needs to be a death.
The fact that it's in the fucking poster.
Yeah.
But maybe that was their whole thing. Like, we're going to add you as this, but you are going to be the sacrifice for everything.
Yeah. Well, Suicide Squad did it. So I don't know if this director kind of learned from that. But the first Suicide Squad with, what's that one bitch's name? Will Smith. Where there was a character called Slipknot. And he was in the promos. He was in the interviews and everything. Killed off within the first few minutes. The first mission, and then he just dies.
Bam.
Head goes bye-bye.
Yeah. Oof. That was a horrible one. I was like, I was excited to see that character and was like, oh, never mind. I guess not. You got
But I love that. I love when they do that. So overall, an amazing movie that I think a lot of people will enjoy. Oh, also, unlike Brave New World, you don't need to have seen all of these other films, all the other 33, now 34 MCU things, films or series. I think the only one that I would maybe suggest watching or at least getting a recap on is Black Widow.
I think just watching that one and just making sure you kind of, it's because all this takes place after Brave
New World.
Brave New World. I want to say Brand because technically it feels like it's a brand new world.
They reference the things that happened there that were also kind of shown in the trailer of Brave New World. So you don't
just get a recap on it.
You don't need to see the whole fucking Brave New World. But I think go to Screen Crush. YouTube has a lot of different videos, but I think I love Ryan Airy on Screen Crush. Always does some wonderful recaps because he knows, and that whole production team knows, maybe you need to know a few things. So now you're caught up to speed because maybe you don't know who the fuck Ghost is.
I don't know. I still don't know who that is.
She was in the Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I wouldn't know.
Exactly. But I think that the director made a smart choice because knowing that character was introduced so many years ago that maybe you'll kind of remember it, so she doesn't have that much of importance in the overall story.
Yeah, no, I get it.
And then lastly, there is a mid and post-credit scene, and I think
you need to watch those.
I won't spoil what those things were, but suffice to say, Thunderbolts, thank you for making mid and post-credit scenes exactly what they're supposed to be meant for.
And trailers how they're supposed to be meant for.
Yeah. So the mid-credit, I love it when it's just an additional comedic beat. Doesn't have anything to do with the storyline. It's a fun comedic beat. Boom. Love it. The post-credit scene, everything else is all said and done. The whole story is already wrapped up. And this is just a little addendum that maybe is going to reach out and connect the other universes, or the other stories, and remind you exactly its place within the timeline of everything happening MCU. It was a well-constructed, well-executed, and well-delivered post-credit scene.
So now, after seeing this movie, okay, before I go to that thought, I will say that I didn't know that Bob was Lewis Pullman.
Bill Pullman's son.
Because I think it was until today where I was like, hey, this. And I'm just like, wait, no, I cut myself off when you mentioned it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I have been saying it a number of times. This is marriage, people. We talk, but we don't listen.
And I was just like, I remember Casper's dad. I had the biggest crush. Not Casper's dad, but I remember Casper, and I had the biggest
Christina
crush on the
Rich's
dad. I like the hugest crush on that dad, and just like
his glasses and his cardigan. Oh.
Yes, I don't know what it was, but seeing like Lewis Pullman up there, like instantly, I think I elbowed you through the movie. I was like, look at those.
Also, I'm sorry. You're forgetting the fact that he's one of the best presidents ever played in a movie. Independence Day?
No, I get that. But
do you get it, though?
No, I do. But
do you get it?
But my crush was on Casper's dad.
Whatever, man. How dare you?
Yeah, no, I'm yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No defense. How dare you? Can we get on to the YHST gets fresh? All right. Okay, the penultimate segment, YHST gets fresh. This is, of course, a segment where every other episode, me and Alva alternate on guessing the Rotten Tomato critic and audience score, as well as giving our own personal rating on the aforementioned movie, in this case, Thunderbolts. From 0 to 100, 59 and below being rotten, and 16 above being fresh. It's now my turn to guess the scores on this particular movie, Thunderbolts. Asterisk.
Give me the scores.
Okay, I personally give it a 95%. I always think that there's wiggle room. I forgot my reasoning on why I wanted to give it. I couldn't give it 100%. I really blanked out on that. My bad. But I think critics gave it a 90%. I still think critics and superhero movies don't really see eye to eye. Maybe they're going to say like, some stuff was typical, blah, blah, blah. But I think audience love the shit out of it at 95%. Give it to me.
Critics 88.
I told you.
Audience 94.
There you go.
Yeah.
I know my shizzy for Nizzy. And there you go. Why just to get fresh.
And then there's a segment that I like to call trivia.
And this is a segment we call trivia. And now it's my turn to get trivia'd.
How dare you? I had a song. You just ran through it. Like I meant nothing.
And these things, usually the genres are that of the thing that we talked about. In this case, superhero stuff. Marvel.
All right.
And so now Alva will read the questions, at least 10 of them. But let's see what happens. It may be your
birthday, but I will still talk over you.
I have the buttons. All right, hit me.
Okay. In which movie did Spider-Man make his first appearance in the MCU?
Civil War. Captain America Civil War.
Perfect. Wanda and her brother
Pietro.
Are from where?
Ukraine. Nope. No. Sokovia.
Yep.
Oh, almost didn't get that one. That was almost like a
it's
kind
like
of
right
field.
there. How dare you? Who rescued Tony Stark and Nebula from space?
Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Pepper Potts is allergic to what?
I don't know.
Strawberries.
What?
I got
Who's allergic to fruits?
me. Peaches. Okay.
That's a good one.
I had to throw you off.
I appreciate it.
Nick Fury wears an eye patch over which eye?
Fuck.
It's the 50-50.
Oh, Mandela effect. His left eye.
Yeah.
Ooh, 50-50 chance. Because he got scratched by that fucking cat.
It's always a cat. But the cat was the alien, right?
Yeah, I forgot what the cat's alien name was.
I don't remember.
Stitch or something.
626. Experiment 626.
Come on.
Okay. Who did Mark Ruffalo replace as the Hulk in the MCU?
Edward Norton.
Okay. Scott Lang was trapped in the quantum realm for how long?
Oh, 5 years.
Yep.
Who
founded Sword?
Maria Rambeau.
Okay.
Ooh. And by the way, thanks to that rat for saving Ant-Man. It was such a fucking MacGuffin.
Oh, that's right. Oh, this is a good one. I wouldn't know this one at all. Is Selma Hayek's Eternals character Ajak male or female in the comics?
Oh, I think male. But boy, oh boy, I do not care. Because if you have a movie you're casting her in, I'm watching it. Pants optional.
Who is the power broker in the Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Oh, it was Agent Carter's like granddaughter or niece or something like that.
I need a name. You have half of it right.
It's Peggy Carter's.
I'll give you a hint because it is your birthday.
Nancy Carter?
No. Let me give you the hint before you even answer.
Okay.
Ozzy Osbourne yells this out.
Sharon Carter.
There you go. We don't like her.
That's a funny clue.
Yeah,
that would surprise me. That
Okay.
bummed me out too.
What does SWORD stand for?
Security. No, it's not security. I don't know.
Sentient Weapon Operation.
Can you say it?
Sentient Weapon Observation Response Division.
Damn it. I probably maybe would have gotten like half of SHIELD.
I wanted to say
SHIELD
Operation. I don't have SHIELD here. Where do warriors go after dying in battle?
Where do warriors go?
Yeah.
Valhalla? Mm-hmm. Oh, really?
What other superhero movies did Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness director Sam Raimi direct?
Spider-Man. But like, do I have to name all the movies? Or like, is it a number you're looking for?
Spider-Man what?
Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3.
Trilogy.
There
you go.
The third one we don't talk about. And there you have it. There it is. I've been quizzed. I know my shit about MCU, except for superheroes allergies. Fuck me.
And the name of SWORD, like what it stands
Hey,
for.
fuck you. Nobody knows that one. Even SHIELD's hard. It's like security, homeland, internal espionage, and logistic division. Oh my God. If I fucking nailed that, I'm going to J my D right now.
What was it?
Security, homeland, espionage, internal logistic division.
Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division.
I got 4 of those words right.
I don't even know how you spelled shield. Because you're
what did I? Oh, damn it. No. Oh, shit.
You went EILD, and that's where it confused me. I was like, what's going on?
And the lesson we learned is I before E, except after C. There you have it. Thank you, everyone, for listening to our fucking dumb show where we're just entertaining ourselves. But let me know if we entertained you on this episode.
And a great grammar lesson.
Go see the Thunderbolts. Let me know what you thought about the news that we spoke of at the top, in the comments, and the DMs on our social media at
YHSC Pod.
And if you like our show, if you want to give me a belated birthday drink, you can do that on Venmo.
At YHSC Pod.
At
YHSC Pod.
There you go. Slow it down. We want people to visit those things, damn it. But in the meantime, let me know what movies are on your growing list of films that has people asking you the question. You haven't seen that? Later, folks. See you next week.
Okay, bye.